Lady MacGyver.
Trail name is Cheesy. I'm from Baltimore.
My trail name is Flatlander, and
Trail name Doc Holliday.
Trail name is Bear Slayer.
My trail name is Mowgli.
Trail name is Big Sky. I'm from Montana.
My trail name is Talon.
I go by the trail name of Fat Hand.
My trail name is Sarabi.
My trail name is The Dunes.
trail name is Unbreakable Kelly.
Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I go by Sniper.
And I go by Lazy Eagle.
I go by Grizz, and
Go by what?
Spam.
Spam, okay.
Trail name is Bloom Seeker.
I'm Dirt and Stew.
Paul, trail name Sauerkraut from Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
My name's Megan. Trail name is Sour Straws.
The Sours.
The Sours, okay.
Yes.
Why don't you...
I wanted to get out of where I lived, so the idea of hiking this trail as like a transitionary journey festered in my mind and just got to the point where I knew I had to hike it. So here I am.
I graduated high school last year, so I'm on my gap year. I'll be for college. That's really about it.
And I met Christine over here, and it was her dream to hike the Appalachian Trail. She didn't want to be in a relationship with me because she was about to hike, and I said, well, yeah, I'll do that with you.
Okay.
So for me, I fell in love with the trail probably last year. I did one little section with some friends, and my husband and I were supposed to do it together. We took off about 5 weeks, and he ditched me on day 2. And so I continued on and did all of Georgia, all of the Smoky Mountains and that whole area, all the way through to Virginia, and we're starting up this year.
And I wanted to get into it, and I wanted to show my wife a firefly. So I figured this is a good way to do it.
Okay. You've never seen a firefly before?
Never seen one. I don't think I became aware of the AT as much till I met Paul. But when we went on our honeymoon, we went backpacking in Utah and Canyonlands, and I think it was then that we were like, we want to do this for a long time. So at that point, we decided to start hunting to do this trail. So.
Okay.
My school again had like a week-long simulate an experience of an AT thru hiker backpacking trip, and I went on that, and I just felt like I could keep going forever. So from that point on, I decided I was gonna hike the Appalachian Trail. Then met my husband here and said, "Well, I really want to hike the trail now. I know that relationships can get in the way." We had known each other for maybe less than a week, and he said, "Well, I'll hike it with you." And I said, "You know what you're getting yourself into? This is like a long trail, you know?" I said, "Yeah, I'm up for it. Let's go."
I'm into it for the pain, I guess. The journey. Actually,
Okay.
It's all about the journey.
All right.
I wanted to get out and just see more. I'd never seen mountains before, so I started southbound, and when I got to Katahdin, it was my first ever mountain, like my first real mountain, and it was really tough. It was really challenging, but I think that's part of the reason why I came out here, to challenge myself.
In the transitional phase, I've been out here soul searching. I did the same job doing upholstery for about 4 years. I've been living in Baltimore for 4 years and ready to move on to something else in both respects. So I'm kind of just figuring out what to do while I'm out here.
Okay.
Now, what was New Orleans for about 4 years, and wonderful city, really love it, but it wasn't maybe the healthiest version of myself, so I wanted to take the time to just be back to basics, get to be the healthiest version of myself again.
Get away from society. Take a break.
Okay.
Get away from reality.
Well, years ago, I worked as a volunteer on the trail in Maine, and ever since I worked on it, I learned about fixing it up and stuff. Did some hiking then. I wanted to hike sometime.
The goal of mine is to do some sort of therapy. I would love to work with kids, teenagers, at-risk youth mainly. And after working at the summer camp, it really pushed me to want to focus on nature therapy because obviously nature has so much to offer for everybody. And I think that it was always in my head that I had to do this trip because in order for me to help other people, this is going to help me figure out how I'm going to do that.
Originally, the movie Lost in the Mohicans.
The Lost. Why that movie? Okay.
So it's filmed in North Carolina, and the Blue Ridge Mountains, they pan out and play the music at the end, and I watched it a lot, and I was like, I'm gonna go there. That's my happy place, and now I'm in it. a bunch of research, and there wasn't any big reason why I wanted to do it. It was mostly why the hell not?
Right.
Everyone else.
Her grandfather, back in, I don't know, I think it was 1969 and 1971, he thru hiked it twice. And so she always had a desire to perhaps hike it. And I'm a sucker for bad ideas. So,
what was your inspiration? What was your inspiration for doing it in the first place, and what was your inspiration to do it a second time?
Well, being in the woods all my life, pretty much growing up, and a good friend of mine wanted to go and hike the Appalachian Trail in the Smokies, so I went and did that with him. And then I just started looking into it a little bit more in 2013. Well, 2012 actually. I started planning my thru hike for 2013, and just said that's what I'm going to do, and took off. And then this year, kind of same situation. Was helping a bunch of hikers and getting them to Amicalola from my place in Georgia. And they're like, well, you ought to just go ahead and hike too, you know. And so I was like, well, let's do it. So here I am again.
All right.
Actually, I believe trail magic. I hate to be redundant, but it's true. People give free time.
Yeah.
We were trying to find a campsite that was flat and looked nice for a tent for us to sleep on. There's this one perfect spot, just the right size for a tent. And so we sit up there. It was like match made in heaven. We fall asleep, and a half hour later, I had to wake up, and there was this deer again stomping near our tent. And finally, I just go crazy. I want to sleep. Like I just want to sleep.
You went like caveman style.
Yeah, I started like throwing
like,
things, like gigantic logs in the direction of this deer. And we woke up and we realized that was probably its bed.
The leaves were perfectly like.
They were perfectly matted. It was like brown. That was the deer's bed.
One thing I really enjoyed about the trail that I didn't really expect was just from the hiking community. Because you meet people on the trail and you get to know people so fast. Like you're friends in like a couple hours, and just like meeting all those great people and like trail angels and like the trail community has been a really great part of being part of the AT.
My favorite time so far, like a bunch of people in my bubble and I were in Hot Springs and we had a wonderful day. We went to the dollar store and we bought like inner tubes, tied them all together with paracord, and we got beer and like hung out in the river all day long and just drank beer. We went to the Hot Springs. That was like an amazing day. I had a lot of fun. I also scored like a pair of like Lecky trekking poles from the hiker box. It was like, woo, what a score. So that was a fun memory.
Climbing up the Bigelows. The Bigelow, there's two peaks, and we camped in between the two peaks one night, and the next morning we woke up before sunrise and walked up to the Avery Peak and Bigelow Mountains and watched the sunrise on top of that. You know, you can't see any houses or any roads or anything, and there's just lakes and mountains, and it was just the most beautiful thing.
Mine was more of a kind of a spiritual moment. It was in Black Rock Mountain, and got to me where the sun was setting, and it was just like this magical moment. This fucking eagle came and just like hung.
I think my favorite part of the trail, I mean, the first one that comes to mind, what was it called? Hump Mountain, coming out of Rome. It was windy, it was a steep climb, it was kind of miserable, I wasn't having fun, but every moment that I looked up it was gorgeous, and it was better than anything I'd be doing in the city.
Yeah, I'll say how I got to trail days is probably the most memorable thing that's happened. I was kind of stressing about how I was going to get to trail days, and I knew I wanted to come, of course, and I was laying on top of Roan Mountain the other day. It was Wednesday. I was just laying up there, drying out my gear from the storm the night before, and I hear some guys come up the mountain, and they were just day hikers, and it was the Riff Raff crew, and they come talk to me, and they go, hey, pack up your stuff and come in with us for trail days. So I was like, alright, so I pack up my stuff, get down the mountain, I get in a Volkswagen camper van, the hippiest thing I've ever done, but it was awesome. Got a ride from a dude named D-Hippie, and he brought me out to trail days, and that's how I'm here, and it was awesome.
Alright, very
Trail
cool.
Provide.
Alright.
Somehow the miserable stories always end up being like the more memorable ones that somehow are great later. My favorite, I guess,
aspect of the trail is really the trail magic. So I talked to a lot of old thru hikers, and they're like, don't want to talk it up too much because it may or may not happen for you. But trail magic is a thing. But it's not just about getting like free stuff. It's just realizing how generous people are. And trail magic always seems to happen when you need it most.
Another time that came to mind just now was when we were in Maine. And yeah, there was a hurricane that came through, and I don't remember the name of it. But we didn't make it to a shelter, and we thought, well, we'll just set up on like the highest piece of earth that we can find in this flat area.
We're talking like inches higher here.
Yeah, it was pretty flat in this one area, and
Yeah.
it was just a little bit higher. So we set up there, and it rained and it poured, and it rained and it poured, and it rained and it poured. And in the morning, we were still pretty dry. Looked out of the tent, and we were on an island. Everything around us was just completely soaked in at least 2 or 3 inches of water.
I believe being in the farm to feast camp has been my favorite part.
He's with us.
We had the unique experience of chasing away a black bear that is getting maybe a little too friendly with humans. I've been hanging around this one particular shelter and ended up coming up a few times. We chased him away, but he came up and was actually on his back legs holding onto a bear cable, which is where you put all the food, and shaking it because somebody's pack was up there that they were slack packing. And we were like, okay, well, we just need to like once and for all chase him away. So we just like ran at him, banging poles, and he ran away and he like hid in the bushes, but he was about to come back. So then we like ran and chased and made the craziest noises and finally chased him up the hill. So hopefully we made him scared of humans from here on out. But
beat the 3 cubs and mama bear on Blue Mountain. Had to take my own truck down. It was scariest thing. It was just the most humbling thing, and it was awesome though.
Okay.
First night I spent in Smokies carrying an actual bear canister so that I don't never have to hang a bareback, hence the name Lazy Eagle. Because I'm lazy, so I don't hang barebacks in this canister. Ridge Runner says, oh, don't worry. Bears never come up here. Just leave your canister wherever, but if they do come up here, they might knock you down the cliff. So go, okay, shove it under a log, like put rocks around it so they can't see it or whatever. Get up the next morning, the rocks are over there, the canister's 10 yards away, covered in bear marks, covered in bear claw marks. And I'm just like, show the Rich Runner, a bear came up here. He goes, oh, look at that, a bear came up.
Pack all my gear, and at 9:15 in the morning I'm walking down and it's just me hiking, and I look and it's just like kind of foggy, and up on the path ahead, standing like 40 feet from me was just like a bear, and I just did a double take, and it was really cool. And like normally people would like holler and scream and everything, and of course me, I'm like digging in my bag, looking for my camera, and then so I've got a cool like selfie with the bear, and I also took a video of it, and it's like coming at me, so but then eventually it scampered away.
we were making ourselves miserable to be happy. It's like
it was a lot tougher than I originally thought.
The word would be is I have found myself within the AT. It has made me believe in the strength of a woman, of being powerful.
Oh, let's see. My words would be fun, rain, and you're just awesome.
The strength that you find in yourself to actually get over like Albert Mountain. And you just want to quit, but you know that you should just keep on taking the step and you can actually do it.
I think I met a guy who actually put it best. He said there's type 1 fun and type 2 fun. And type 1 fun is fun while you're having it. Type 2 fun is only fun when you're talking about it with your buddies later after it's over. And I think so far it's really been type 2 fun, which has been great.
Okay.
Pretty tough. Inspirational and just awesome. You know, again, the people and the views and it's a whole different lifestyle. It's awesome.
An unexpected series of physical and emotional twists and turns. I don't know.
For me, hiking the trail is learning to enjoy every moment of every day.
On the trail, everybody is happy, ready to get up and go.
But my trail family, my tramlers, have become my family, and that's why I'm back out here, because it's just such awesome, great people that I love the camaraderie and
summing up in a few words, year to date, the experience.